Ken Moore from Switch Sport. We're 0-2 with the first team manager of Highgate United. Nil commiserations, 2-1 lost today against Romulus, a local derby, and a strange game for many, many reasons. We normally talk about talking points in these matches. There were several of those, weren't there, to begin with?
It certainly was.
Certainly was, yeah. But I'd like to get your start. To begin with that, Neil, your overall thoughts on the match to begin with. Did you sense it was going to be an awkward game from the start?
Listen, when it's blowing a gale like it is, it's you've got to play the conditions, and one team played the conditions really well, and another team didn't, and it's as simple as that. It's absolutely blowing a gale, and we speak about it, and again, and I'm sick of coming out and doing these interviews and saying that we're giving the right information, and then the goal second half that's caused by the wind, you know what I mean, it's a punt up top, the centre half gets caught underneath it, which that can happen, you know, I'm not going to have a go at him for that, and their kid takes it really well, to be fair, but the goal that cost us that game was the one first half where we're playing, you know what I mean, playing into the wind, and we're trying to roll it about round the back, and we have 3 opportunities to clear, and we don't, and then a mix up between my full-back and my keeper. And you're a goal down, but then you're not a goal down. You've lost the player through to injury, which looks like a bad one, and then you have to bring on a player within 5 minutes that you've left out the squad because he hasn't been playing well. So all of a sudden, things are not going your way. But we get back into the game. We play really well up to half time, and then we just got to be better second half, and we weren't. So yeah.
Frustrating game for yourself, and obviously Jordan Francis getting on the score sheet as well. Second half, then Corey Brooks started. Second half got the early goal, and that could sort of ensued sequence and not really that some players. But fair to your team, you did really good for 10 minutes stretch after that. But one thing I want to touch on, and I appreciate we don't want to talk too much about this as well, was although the referee's really sort of like there's no flow to the game, he was stopping everything, wasn't he?
I've got to adapt, but the official, I mean, today he's booked our lad for winning a clear header, and I've asked him at half time what he's booked, because then you centre half in conditions like this, all of a sudden you centre half then on a yellow card, but he's won a great header, cleared it, and the ref said he's aggressive. Well, as a centre half, you want your centre half to be aggressive. He's won a good header, and then to be fair, second half they've had our lads fouled one of their lads right on the edge of the box, and he does their kid for diving, and then we don't deserve it, and you don't want any favours from the referees, but you just want them to do it right, and he just lost all control, and then right on the edge of the box again, last kick of the game, our centre half gets absolutely smashed, and it's a foul, or even their bench are going mad at their lad for smashing into him, and he waves play on, and I've got to get used to it, but it's taking some getting used to it, really, and he books me. I mean, he sent the kid off, and you know, I mean, he books him. The one their lad that he sends off, he books him for like being pushed, and I don't know. He seemed like he was hell bent on not letting the game flow, and it was difficult for both teams as it was with the conditions, and I think if he'd have let it flow a little bit, there might have been a little bit more quality in the game, but he was just, I mean, there was a lot of injuries and there was a lot of people going down, but he was just hell bent on I think just being the centre of attention today, and you don't want the best officials, you don't hear a peep from them, you don't think of them after the game, but I just think listen, he's not the reason that we've lost the game, no way, but I think for both teams it gets you in, and then I've been booked for asking him if their lad gets booked for elbowing our kid. The linesman waves his flag, so he's seen an elbow, and then I asked for an explanation. He said he's elbowed him, but he hasn't done it with any force, and you're like, well, if you've booked him for an elbow, the laws of the game, so a raised arm is a sending off, and he said he's done it. It was an aggressive elbow, so as I say, you can go on all day, but yeah, he just, answer your question, he didn't want to let it flow, did he?
No, and it's I'm sure Jason Lansdowne's seen sort of issues.
Yeah, 100%.
Just being meticulous has actually been sort of like you actually like not creating opportunity for both teams to sort of adapt to these conditions and play down the football.
Yeah, you just want to let it flow, let it go a little bit, and the good refs, they do that, and if there has been a foul, they'll pull them back after. But there was a couple of times for them where we fouled and they've got the advantage and he pulls it back, and there's a couple of times for us where we're through and he blows his whistle straight away. But as you say, listen, I know you can't have a game without them, and you hope that they look at any footage that's out there and they learn from it. But there's a massive gulf in the standard of officiating from the level that I've been at coming down to this level, and people warned me about it. I didn't think it was that bad, but it is, and it's something that I've got to get used to, and the lads have got to get used to as well.
And the stuff on the process of remote then now, because you come in and you've only been on the post a short period of time, you start to build your own squad as well, and you're trying to get players on a regular basis and try and build your squad. Some players I recognise on the team, so I know you worked with previously for like Reece League and other players like that as well, but at this stage when you came with Phil May, was it a case of like, let's use our contacts wisely, pick the players we know who can work with us, who know how we work, how we want to manage and officiate things, and just work the best you've got to sort of see things through and stay in this division this season?
Listen, there's no hiding away from the fact, Kev, that we've had 7 games now and we haven't won one. Yeah, we've played a couple of friendlies. You know, we played Studley, we won there. We played Tamworth, we won there. But the bread and butter, you know what I mean, the league, the ones where we haven't won one, and it's not good enough. And we are building the team, but it's. Yeah, we've brought in familiar faces, and we've brought in lads that have done well for us in the past. They're not necessarily doing well for us now, and that's not, you know what I mean, and it's not just the lads that we've brought in, the lads that we've inherited as well, that we've kept, and as a collective we're nowhere near good enough, and I've got to start asking questions about myself, because we are trying to do things right. We've changed a lot of things at the football club. We've made training better. You know, I mean, a lot of the gripes that we had when we come in, we've sorted those for the players, and we've made it, we feel, a better place to play. We're trying to play football. We're trying to do things right, maybe to our detriment sometimes, but we're not getting results, and it's a results business at the end of the day. And if we're not careful, we are going to get dragged into a relegation fight, and that's not something that any of us want, because we've come here with a bigger picture on having a look at building a football club to be in a position to have a go next year. And 7 games, 6 losses and 1 draw, not good enough, and it's as simple as that. And there'll be people asking questions about us, because we've come from a level above, and there'll be people within our football club, I would imagine, that are asking, you know, I mean, has anything changed? And no, nothing has changed. In fact, it's probably got better since it's probably got worse since we came in. So questions have got to be asked about us, but I've got to get my big boy pants on and get on with it. It's if we can either get on with it and roll with it and make the changes that we need to make us better, or we can just turn around and say, actually, this ain't for us, and we walk away. And you've known me long enough. I've never been a quitter. I'm not going to start now. But again, I'm out here fronting it all up. I'd love for one of the players to come out and do an interview, but it's not right when we're losing games. But I've protected them enough, and they need to. There's players in there that have played step 3, step 4, and a lot of them have played step 5 as well, and they've got to start taking responsibility. And in a minute they're not, and that's what we've got to change. And we've got lads that we're bringing in to do a job, they're not doing it. And the problem that we've got, we haven't had a settled side. That's massively to do with us, because we keep making changes. We want to get a settled team, but then we want to get results, and if the players that we're putting out there are not getting results, then we've got to make changes, and we'll probably have to look at making changes again this week, and it's as simple as that.
Those changes may well start in the next few days, in the sense that the next match was the City as well. Tough players to play against as well. To be a tough environment for you as well. But between now and that fixture then, what's the training routine going to be like? Is it something like still trying to implement what you've been trying to say to start the conversation? You are putting things long term in place. Is it still a bit of yourself to feel that you can still believe in what the way you go about things is still the way forward to progress this club?
I've been involved in non-league a long time. You know what I mean. You have the ups and you have the downs. I'm not gonna. Yeah, we want the win. Of course we want the win. But what we want more than anything is we want to make sure that we've got a team that the people who who support this club and the people in the background that they can be proud of, and that's, you know, I mean, that's the most important thing for me. We want to win football matches, but if lads think that they're going to come here just for a bit of an easy ride and, you know, I mean, pick up a bit of decent dough and then not put the effort in, that's not what I'm all about. But yeah, listen, Worcester next week, another tough one. You know, I mean, they're a team in the top 5, so it ain't going to be easy. So, but we've just got. If we cut out the individual mistakes and follow the game plan, we'll be fine. They're not doing that at the moment. I've got to I suppose I've got to find the formula to why they're not doing it. Because if it's a case that they can't, then we've got to get players in who can. At the moment, I'm thinking it's a case of that they don't want to, and that's not good enough. So we've got to. I've been in situations like this before, and I've managed. You know, I mean, I've managed over 400 games at step 4 and step 3. So this is a challenge. I'm not gonna hide away from it. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are looking at this and they'll be seeing the result come through again today, and they'll be thinking, oh, it's another week that they won. But that, you know, that's something that I've got to deal with, and I've got to make sure that we're all right. And that's what we've got to concentrate on.
Well, no, thanks, sir. I really appreciate it. Good result today against Romulus. Good luck against Worcester City next week. Let's catch up again. Good to see you back in management.
Cheers, Kev.
I'd rather myself all to Switchboard. Good back yourself. We'll switch again for the
Top man. Cheers, Kev.